on the page. Okay, so did Julia start the recording? Oh yeah, cool. We just really quickly get in touch with them. Okay, so yeah, I think we can finally start. Okay. So yeah, welcome everyone to the webinar about the Core Web Vitals. And today we're gonna talk about speeding up your websites and why you need to do that, and what are the most frequent errors you're gonna get, and how to tackle them. Please don't hesitate to ask your questions in the chat. Once I'll have a minute, I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. Couple words about myself. My name is Stanislav, but everyone calls me Stan. I'm doing SEO since 2013. It has been like 11 years pretty recently in May. I've been a consultant since the very beginning and kind of doing other consultancy and audits, technical audits for JetOctopus in 2018 since the tool was created. So I've worked with various niches and various types of websites, with social networks and B2B and marketplaces and e-commerce, and even personal blogs, everything. So you can ask any questions in case you have them. So yeah, let's start. So basically, there are three main indicators for Core Web Vitals. I'm pretty sure you know them. So that's a LCP, INP, and CLS. LCP is the largest contentful paint, CLS is the cumulative layout shift, and INP is the interaction to next pane. Before INP, we've had the metric called FID. FID is the first input delay. Is just the time when the page is actually working on uploading and showing new elements, like using JavaScript and styles and everything. But at this moment, there might be a delay when users try to interact with the page. So that metric was showing this delay. So in case someone will try to interact with the page and there is a big queue of JavaScript that browser needs to work on, there will be an ADA metric like very low. Let's start with the first one. So the LCP, largest contentful paint. This metric is about measures the time when the biggest visible element on the front screen gets uploaded. So here you can see the example when the LCP happens is when the big like this one, this green image with shoes is being rendered on the page. Only at this moment the LCP is counted. So this is the example of a bad LCP. The LCP is not often measured on images, because sometimes actually the text block or the text component is the most visible element on the page on the first screen. If this LCP is measured on the element which takes the most of the space on the first screen, so it's not always the image, but usually it's the image. Next one is the CLS. The CLS is the cumulative layout shift, and it happens when the total mockup of the page, like the whole mockup of the page, starts to move down or up when some of the elements appear, they get rendered. For example, a banner, like here in the official example of CLS. This causes negative user experience in case someone tries to interact with some elements, get back to check their order, as in this example, or tries to click on sorting or filtering on e-commerce websites, and afterwards, when something uploads above and it appears above those elements, everything shifts downwards, and you miss to click the element that you want. Next one is the INP. This metric was introduced, as I've already said, in I guess starting March this year, and so this metric is the most difficult metric actually to track. all the INP's interaction to next page. So all this metric is about good responsiveness, and that means that the page responds quickly to all interactions that happen on the page. When the page responds, the browser presents visual feedback in the next frame that it paints. Visual feedback tells you, for example, if an item you add to an online store, in a shopping cart on an online store, is being added. So basically, if there is a delay after you click on the cart, the big one, so it means that the INP is actually low. So what kind of things may be measured as INP? So for the INP, not only the clicks are measured, that taken into account, you can also of course, that's tapping on mobile devices with touch screens, and also those are pressing a key or either physical or on-screen element on the keyboard. So this also may be taken into account when calculating the INP. The biggest difference between the FAD and the INP is that first input delay has been counting only the first delay when the page is actually rendered, while the INP is taking into account all the delays, even when the page is already loaded. So an easy and fast example of a place or kind of like an element where you need to pay close attention to the INP are the requests which are made to your databases when users are trying to create more filters for the set of products they check, they see on your listing pages. Or for example, in case users click on some buttons and those lead to complex database requests, and they take a lot of time. So keep in mind so far that for some elements that are widely used and oftenly used on your pages, you probably should have like a quick database or at least cache some elements so that they respond like very quickly for these kind of cases. So that's everything about, that's the base about the INP. For the monitoring purposes, of course, we have the JetOctopus tool, and I'm going to show you how to start working with it. So first thing you need to do is basically add your API key to the tool. There is an instruction here in the JetOctopus, so you can easily get it within like a couple of minutes. And then you need to start the crawl. You need to crawl, and then you can find this report of core web vitals among the tools here, and you can just launch the scan of a set of pages that you have, for example, all indexable pages or just a list of pages that you need, and you'll get this kind of data. What is the most important thing here, in my opinion, of course, is this one, the field data. There are two types of data taken into consideration when you're trying to work or fix the core web vitals. Probably you've heard of them, probably not. So first one is called the field data. This is the data that you're going to see in the CRUX report, the report we've been talking about with William Rock in the very beginning of the call. So basically, this is the data of real users and the way how they interact with your website. So why is that this important? Because all your users, I hope you have a lot of them, have different mobile devices. They have different desktop devices. All those devices, mobile and desktop, they have different screen resolutions. They have different browsers. They have different ways to connect to the World Wide Web, and they have different speeds of connection, right? And they are from different countries and cities and blah blah blah. So basically, all this cocktail of different metrics and different parameters which can be applied to any of your users is a huge mix, and it's very important to see when your website is actually fast for all of them, or like for the most of them. Of course, the goal here is to be fast at least for like 85% of all your users. So this is the most important thing to know about the difference between the field data that I've described right now, and another one is the lab data. The lab data is the data that you can actually see when you launch the Lighthouse report in Chrome to identify whether there are any bottlenecks in your core vitals or your page upload time. So and this is a big difference because Google Chrome does throttling on your CPU on your internet connection in order to simulate the way how an average user may browse your website. So that's how it happens, and in most cases the difference is like very big for the field data and for the lab data. For lab data, of course, why is it also important is because you can actually check each element of your website and see how it performs in terms of upload and in terms of the time needed to recalculate the styles and to like being to other elements being shown on the pages and so on and so on. Okay, so moving on. So let's have a couple of in real life examples with the lab data and how can we tackle the most important, like the two, let's say, easiest cases for Web Vitals. Is the first one. Let me just run this thing like really quickly. Okay, so here is basically one of the most, let's say, classical examples of LCP, of the largest contentful pane. As you can see, it happens right here when the image of the remote control is being uploaded. So what can we do in order to speed this up? We can check the size of the image of the remote control and understand whether it's like very heavy. No, it's not. It weighs only like 9 kilobytes. So then why it takes a lot of time to like why the LCP is so bad here at this and on this website, and what is the best option to fix it? Let's just look here. After the HTML is being uploaded, we have a ton of other files that needs to be uploaded and are in the queue. Let's check the waterfall. So the main image on the first screen, right, which takes the most of the space on the first screen, is being uploaded not even among the first 10. So we have this logo, we have huge number of styles, we have 2 fonts and a couple of JavaScript. So the best way for to fix the LCP for this particular example is to move up this image, the image on the let's say this is the product page. Move this image up in the queue of the elements uploaded for this page template, let's say. So here we have, I've chosen this image with the remote control. And what do we see here? We see that the queuing for this element took about 264 milliseconds. And queuing for all other elements is even bigger if we scroll down. You can see that's a small white rectangular. If we move it here higher, we will probably see the remote control image being uploaded somewhere here, like 2 times, I'd say 2 times faster. That was one of the most common cases for LCP. And let's take another one. I think you already guessed. So this is going to be the example for CLS, the cumulative layout shift. Wow, it takes too long. Could it probably try to rerun this one? I think we've still got the data we need. Okay, so so just reminding you that the cumulative layout shift, it means that the all elements on the page changed their positions while the page was already visible, and users could click on the elements, read the content, scroll down, and everything else. So actually could interact with the page. So here, when the layout shifts occur, you can always see an additional line here above the main, which is called layout shifts. What do we see here? Is the layout shift happening right when the banner with the announcement of taking, like, where you can get 120 pounds off for the laptop appears? At this right moment, you can see that all the elements of the page go down. If you follow this line, you will find two purple rectangulars here. If you click on them, you will actually see the exact coordinates of the elements that change their positions when you hover your mouse over them. I hope you can see everything I'm doing. There is another layout shift, but probably a very small one. But that happens somewhere here. I think this may change. This may be seen beyond the. Oh, there is even the another layout shift beyond the range that we've chosen. So this happens when, where the search bar appear? Yeah, here, when the search bar starts to appear. And as you can see, there are even more layout shifts when probably some images from the products below the first screen start to upload. So the whole list goes up. So how can we prevent from CLS to appear on your website pages? For all the elements on the pages, for all the containers, you need to set certain sizes and certain coordinates. So whether you have, for example, for this, the Caris Co UK website, we have to choose, we have to set the coordinates for this element, and there will be kind of like blocked or reserved for the banner. And when the page is going to be rendered, the browser will have a chance to, the browser will just leave this space for the banner, and there will be no layout shift when actually the banner will appear on the page. So it's just going to be like a reserved spot for the banner. So so the browser will not need to recalculate the layout, and when the banner needs to be will appear on the page. Okay, next. So, and the INP. So this was one of the things where I actually needed to educate myself, like in the beginning of the year, and to read a lot about this one. So these two things are, the INP is actually not that easy to track and not that easy to understand what's going on. But basically, one of the things you can also see in performance tab in Google Chrome is that when you have like layout thrashing, you will see like those purple rectangulars with the red triangles in the corner, and you will probably want to show this to your front-end developer in order to see what are the most difficult or heavy requests the browser is sending, which take a lot of time which might take a lot of time for the user. In order to properly know more about the INP and the ways how to optimize for this one on your own. You can read those two articles. Those are official from Google. I've those two elements are clickable. I hope you'll get the presentation afterwards. So you'll get to know more about the INP. So overall role of Core Web Vitals is first, when you properly set up all the connections to the database and you properly manage all the requests, so you properly manage all the JavaScripts that are on the page, those reduce the infrastructure costs because the costs and number of requests will be lower to your databases, and that means that you will save some money right away. The middle level, so you will make your website more accessible to search engines, and the crawling will be much easier for them. So new pages will appear faster on search that will bring you clicks and revenue. And all the changes on your websites, especially bulk changes that you apply, will be recrawled faster, and they will influence your website's positions even earlier than without optimized Core Web Vitals. And what's on the top level we have here is, of course, that users will have easier website with an easier with higher engagement and easier navigation, which will further improve positions on Google SERPs. Why is that connected? And why do we think that this actually will bring you revenue? Why this is important? So in 2023, when even in 2022, I guess, when Google officially said that the Core Web Vitals are going to be the part of ranking factors in Google, they didn't launch those as they officially stated. What I mean is that Core Web Vitals were not like the very strong, among the very strong factors for ranking in Google. But looks like since March update, Core Web Vitals became a part of the user experience ranking factors, which are a part of helpful content updates. So user experience is currently, well, according to the latest updates, is currently the most important thing, which is related to the highest level of ranking factors and the engine, which is called NavBoost. I think if you've been reading the Google Leaks documents, you've seen that there is the content score related to the content on the pages, and everything actually changed during the Google leak, after the Google leak. So you will already also have seen evidences that short content may also take high positions on Google, and you don't actually need to write like 3,000 words for like your listing page on e-commerce website, which used to be a strategy a while ago. So from now on, Google understands that some pages do not need a lot of content, so they can rank. So now Google can rank the pages with a low number of content if it's not supposed to be like long content, if long content is not supposed to be there. So basically, users' behavior on Google SERPs, user behavior on your website is a huge role and a huge game changer, become a huge game changer at the moment. If we're talking about Core Web Vitals and speeding up your website, this is one of the things that you actually need to pay attention to according to the latest updates. You can actually check the links also here that I've included from the articles that appeared like just a couple of days ago. What is beyond the Core Web Vitals? So there are actually other some of the very low level metrics that you can actually also track on your site. Those are HTML size, time to first byte, amount of unused code. So I'm going to stop a little bit here. You don't need to use let's say, the bulk JavaScript one for all of your pages. Every page template should have like their separate JavaScript in order not to load unneeded parts of your huge like chunk JavaScript file that would probably be used for all page types. So have a separate styles and have separate JavaScripts for different page types on your website. Ensure that Google can properly render your page. So check how Google sees your page with JavaScript turned off. You can actually use, I think you've seen this. This extension is called Web Developer. You can actually turn off, disable, or enable JavaScript very easily. So yeah, Google it in the Google Store here in Chrome and install it for yourself. What else? The amount of assets, yes, sure. Keep in mind that on average, the pages are up to 2 megabytes in weight in the browser when they get downloaded. And also keep in mind that your JavaScripts may upload some more additional data when they get rendered and when browser works with them. So take into account also that JetOctopus has these JavaScript enabled crawling. You can choose a set of pages to crawl with JavaScript and see how many requests are being made by your pages and how much data, how much does it weigh, how much does the data weight that your JavaScripts pull in while working, while the page is being rendered in the browser. And of course, the amount of requests. The more requests your page does, the longer it takes for it to be uploaded, even including the fact that almost like 98% of all the websites already use HTTP2 to work with when one connection is being opened for all the files, while in HTTP01 the connection has been opened for each of the file need to upload the page. So now it's different, but still, the more requests you do, the longer it takes for your page to be rendered, and the longer it takes for the user to see the page, interact with the content there, and yeah, to make the decision to spend money on your website. So the quick wins, the quick list of the wins that you could take to check on your website in order to increase the website speed and improve your core web vitals. So use fewer fonts. Even in one of the examples that we've seen today, it was like 2 or 3 fonts per page. Some of the pages may, as I have seen, I use like 5 fonts. Probably none of them are used on the page, but they're still being uploaded. So check the number of fonts on your web pages and see which of them do not need to be uploaded to display the content. Use the media attribute for conditional CSS, lazy load images, which are only below default. And actually, you can also lazy load the videos in iframes too. What else? The most interesting one here, I guess, is the use font display, optional to prevent layout shifts. Yes, because like sometimes layout shifts happen on big content containers with content. When the font is being uploaded, the width of between the words and the width of letters may change, and there might be a layout shift for a couple of lines. This is still, so this should be also still taken into account. And in also one of the examples that we've seen today, there might be a case when you upload a big number of JavaScripts, which may weigh not that much, so like a couple of kilobytes. If those are not third-party JavaScripts and you can manage them, you can edit them, so it's better to combine some of them and upload one instead of like 10 small. For the CSS, you can also choose this option or paste the CSS, all the styles that you need right into the HTML. This also will might be having a larger DOM might be still faster than uploading separate styles for each of the pages. And probably one of the most important things here to mention is that Google might take up to 28 days to reevaluate your the changes you've done for Core Web Vitals and speeding up your website, because Google needs to see the changes in statistics of the field data, the data that the data source we've discussed before. So basically, Google will see the changes not in the code of your website, but rather in the behavior of the users that they visit your website. And that's it. Thanks for your attention. And yeah, I can see that there are a couple of questions. Could you, so Vivian is asking, could you let me know where I can watch the recording of the workshop after it's over? I guess that's going to be YouTube. Yeah, thanks, William. You already answered that. And Julia also. Oh, yeah, it was the only question. Cool. So thanks a lot. Don't hesitate to ask the questions so I can answer them. Thanks, Vivian. Okay, so the visitors are leaving little by little. Thanks a lot for visiting the webinar. In case you'll have any questions further, please contact Julia and we'll try to tackle them.
Thank you guys for joining us for this very interesting webinar. Thank you, Stan, for so interesting webinar, for so many interesting information. And I hope we will have more webinars in the future.
We will. The pleasure is mine always. Thanks, everyone.
Sure. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.